For more on what the regulatory landscape could be under the next presidential administration, we are joined now by our antitrust analyst, Justin Teresi of Bloomberg Intelligence. And clear win here for Lina Khan, but wondering, there has been so much pushback against kind of these anti-merger sentiments coming out of the FTC. Does this one win mean that the direction of travel is very clear for the future of antitrust and deal stopping when it comes to just worries about competition among industries?
Hey, Sonali, thanks so much for having me. So, I really think that this is a huge issue with the election here. And I think no matter who wins in a couple of weeks, I think that's really going to define what we see now for the future of enforcement and M&A kind of review, if you will, at the FTC. I think, and really, no matter which candidate is victorious next month, I think chances are Lina Khan might be on the line here in terms of being reappointed for a second term. There's a lot of pressure from the left for Harris to keep her if she wins, but at the end of the day, I think that the whole idea of a president having their own view and their own staff really across their cabinet suggests to us that she might not be reappointed, as some folks are pressuring Harris to do.
In terms of Lina Khan's ability to stay on, Justin, we know J.D. Vance, famously a fan, but would Donald Trump keep her on? Is there agreement on that ticket in terms of this kind of FTC enforcement?
So I think on that particular point, the answer from our view is a resounding no. I think that even though J.D. Vance has really been out there and has expressed some level of support for Lina Khan, at the end of the day, Donald Trump is very unlikely to appoint her simply for the fact that I think she could be seen as kind of rogue in the action she would take at FTC. And Donald Trump already went through a bad experience during his last term with his FTC chair, Joe Simons, who he saw as not particularly loyal to him either. So I think all of that kind of in the stew here with what the next administration looks like, I think it's very unlikely, no matter whatever the level of fandom might be for Lina Khan, that both candidates really take a hard look and probably don't reappoint her in their term.
How do you feel about the way the FTC has been using their power in this administration? You know, one thing that was interesting in the commercial break, me and Matt were kind of talking about where the Chevron doctrine really applies here and where there will be kind of erosion of that after the Supreme Court hearing. And you made this great point that really applies more to the rulemaking, not the enforcement, correct?
Right. But I will say, while Chevron really relates to rulemaking at the federal agencies and how they go about setting, these rules that, regulations that we all kind of live by, what is happening is that the kind of aggressive stance that FTC has taken lately, and this involves things like the suit they recently brought against pharmacy benefit managers and the mergers that they're choosing to block, what it is doing is inviting these lawsuits that involve a constitutional challenge to the FTC's own internal administrative tribunal, right? So with every one of these lawsuits that might be brought by the FTC, it's interesting to see how that plays out in terms of courts' review of whether or not their internal tribunal is actually constitutional. At some point, looking at courts like the Fifth Circuit, we could see a situation where that actual constitutionality of their own internal review process really ends up on the line as well.
Justin, great to have you here, and it's awesome that we have such a great bench of legal and regulatory experts from Bloomberg Intelligence. So thanks so much for joining us. Justin Teresi there.